You're standing in a grocery store aisle right now, and you already know which berries will kill you. Not because you tested them, not because you tasted one and waited to see if you'd survive. You just know. It feels like nothing, automatic, almost boring. But behind that quiet certainty is one of the most dangerous experiments any species has ever run on itself. Hundreds of thousands of years, one mouth at a time. Because here's the part nobody tells you: every plant on earth is at war with you. It can't run, it can't bite back. So, it builds chemical weapons instead. And your ancestors didn't get a manual. No field guide, no warning labels, just a tongue, a gut, and the people standing next to them. That was the entire survival kit. Start with the tongue. Bite into something bitter, and your face reacts before your brain even catches up. That's not random. Humans are far more sensitive to bitterness than to sweetness. Way more. That's not a coincidence. Sweetness usually means safe calories. Bitterness usually means a plant is trying to kill you. So when a toddler spits out a vegetable and refuses to eat it again, that's not a tantrum. That's software, written by ancestors who didn't survive eating the wrong root. But here's the strange part: that system isn't enough. Some of the deadliest plants on earth taste completely mild. Some totally safe ones taste sharp and awful. So the tongue alone couldn't be trusted. The body needed a second system, one that worked after the food was already swallowed, after it was too late to spit it out. In the 1950s, a psychologist named John Garcia stumbled onto something that quietly rewrote what we thought we knew about learning. He found that an animal could develop a permanent aversion to a food after a single bad experience, even if the sickness didn't hit until hours later. Eat something unfamiliar. Get sick that night. You will probably never want to eat that again, and you might not even remember choosing to avoid it. Your body chose for you. Scientists now call this the Garcia effect. And it explains something remarkable about early humans. They didn't need dozens of trials to learn a plant was dangerous. Sometimes, one exposure, one miserable night, that was enough to write a permanent warning into memory. One person, one bad route, one night, and an entire family protected for a generation. But that protection came at a price. Because sometimes that one exposure wasn't just miserable, it was fatal. So, evolution made a trade. It didn't favor the boldest humans, it favored the most cautious ones. The ones who approached a new plant slowly, in small amounts, suspicious by default. The eager ones, the ones who dug in fast and ate a lot, sometimes didn't live to pass anything forward at all. Psychologists have a name for this caution today: food neophobia, a built in wariness of new, unfamiliar foods. It shows up in every culture on earth. And it peaks exactly when you'd expect: in early childhood, right when a small body is most vulnerable to poisoning. But caution creates its own problem. Because a body can't survive on caution alone. The psychologist Paul Rozin spent decades studying how humans decide what even counts as food, and he found humans trapped in a contradiction he called the omnivore's dilemma. You need variety to survive. No single plant has everything your body needs. But variety means one thing: constant exposure to new risks. Every unfamiliar plant is a gamble: nutrition on one side, poison on the other. Rozin argued that this exact tension, explore or stay safe, shaped huge parts of human psychology around food, including something you feel almost every day and never think about: disgust. Rozin didn't think of disgust as squeamishness. He thought of it as a guard standing at the entrance to your body. So the tongue warns you, the gut remembers, disgust stands guard, and still, none of that fully solves the problem. Because you can't taste test your way through an entire forest and expect to live. This is where humans do something almost no other animal on the planet does. We don't explore alone. A chimpanzee picks up some food knowledge by watching others. But humans built an entire second inheritance system stacked on top of biology. Call it cultural transmission. Knowledge that doesn't live in your DNA. It lives in stories. in warnings, in watching an elder walk the same patch of forest every spring without incident. And what that knowledge contains is stranger than you'd think. The ethnobotanist Timothy John spent years documenting how societies around the world actually prepare wild plants to eat. And what he found should unsettle you a little. Many edible wild plants were never naturally safe. They were made safe. Certain roots need days of soaking just to leach out toxins that would otherwise stop your organs. Some seeds have to be pounded, rinsed, and pounded again. Others need roasting at exact temperatures, get it wrong, and the poison stays intact. No single person figured that out in an afternoon. Somewhere in deep history, someone ate a plant that should have killed them, and it didn't. Not because they were lucky, because someone before them had already spent a lifetime discovering exactly how much soaking, how much heat, how much time it took to make that plant survivable. That knowledge got carried forward like a recipe. Except the stakes were never a ruined dinner. The stakes were death. And that explains something that looks strange from the outside. Why so many cultures built elaborate rules around food, taboos, rituals. Never eat this plant in this season. Always prepare this root this exact way. From the outside, it looks like superstition. Strip away the ritual language though, and underneath it, you often find something else entirely. Compressed survival data. A rule travels easily through a story, generation after generation. A molecular structure does not. There's one more layer to this, and it starts in your own childhood, whether you noticed it happening or not. Children instinctively watch what the adults around them eat, and they show a strong pull toward foods they've seen a trusted adult eat safely. Scientists call it social learning bias. It's a shortcut. Instead of testing a plant yourself and risking your life on the result, you outsource the risk to everyone who came before you. If your mother ate it and lived, it's probably fine. If the entire village avoids one particular berry, that avoidance itself is information, not written in your genes, but written in the behavior of the people around you. Put it all together, and a different picture forms. One that has almost nothing to do with individual bravery. A tongue that fires an early warning. A memory system, the one Garcia uncovered, that permanently flags a food after a single bad night. A built-in caution, the one Rozin spent his career mapping, that slows down risky experimentation just enough to keep a population alive. And an entire external library of plant knowledge, the one John spent his career documenting, carried not in the body, but in culture, in ritual, in watching what your elders were willing to eat. None of this took intelligence the way you might picture it. No lab, no chemistry set, no written record for most of human history. It took something slower, and in some ways, more impressive. Thousands of individual mistakes, absorbed by the group, turned into rules that outlived the people who made them. So the next time you walk down that grocery aisle, effortlessly certain about what will nourish you and what would put you in a hospital bed, understand what you're actually standing on. Not instinct, not luck. The accumulated, hard-won memory of everyone who came before you and survived long enough to pass the lesson on. The knowledge feels like nothing, because it cost everything to build.